I think part of what's really exciting about the Midway area is that there is so much sort of potential energy, we'll call it.
DIKE ANYIWO has lived in the Midway District for 5 years and is a member of the community planning group. He says, geographically speaking, it's great, close to downtown and the beaches.
When it comes to sort of lifestyle and recreation, though, I would not consider this a very walkable neighborhood. I would not consider this a very sort of aesthetically pleasing neighborhood. We have a lot of really wide streets. In some ways, Midway is very much like a through point. But I think this is sort of like San Diego's little forgotten armpit in a lot of ways.
Forgotten armpit or not, ANYIWO has hope for Midway. We meet outside the Pechanga Arena, home to the Gulls hockey team. The city of San Diego owns this land, and earlier this month put out a call for ideas on how to redevelop it. Throw in the NAVWAR project 1 mile away, plus lots of other underdeveloped land, and ANYIWO says Midway could be on the verge of greatness. But there's a catch.
I believe that the community would develop in a much more interesting and beneficial way if we did not have a limitation of 30 feet.
CATHY KENTON is a property and business owner in Midway and the chair of its community planning group. Midway is west of Interstate 5, meaning new development is subject to the strict 30-foot height limit approved by voters in 1972. Kenton says that was a mistake. Midway isn't a coastal neighborhood. No one's ocean views will be blocked by taller buildings here. She says theoretically Midway could still be revitalized without changing the height limit.
But if we do, it's going to be pretty dense, pretty tight, and it's going to be pretty flat horizontally. So if we were able to go up higher with redevelopment, then we would be able to add more parks, add more open space, and make a more interesting and enjoyable living area.
Any change to the height limit in Midway would have to be approved by city voters, and the easiest path to the ballot box would be through the city council.
So here we are, and exciting things are happening, as you know.
Councilwoman JEN CAMPBELL's district includes the Midway area. She spoke at a recent meeting of the community planning group, saying she's excited about NAVWAR, the arena property, and everything else that's about to happen here.
We want to make sure that it's done beautifully, nicely, brings the area up, and helps all of us in San Diego.
At the meeting, several of the planning group members and members of the public pressed Campbell to make sure their desire to raise the height limit gets heard at City Hall. Campbell says, message received.
Yeah, it sounds like you're interested in raising it. Significantly. Yeah. So that's good to hear, and if you have any amounts in mind or whatever, we'd love to hear about it.
Just yesterday, Campbell co-signed a memo with Councilman Chris Cate calling for a ballot measure to repeal the height limit in Midway. The council has until August to decide whether to go along with that request. For some in San Diego, the coastal height limit is sacrosanct. But unlike coastal neighborhoods like Point Loma or La Jolla, not many people actually live in Midway. DIKE ANYIWO, who does live here, says he wants more neighbors, more customers for small businesses, more eyes on the street to deter crime. And he says Midway should do its part to relieve San Diego's housing shortage.
We have, in some ways, I think actually something of a civic duty to avail ourselves of as many different opportunities and options as possible. And so like I said, like with Midway being where we are subject, it really is, it would be a failure, a massive failure on city leadership, on I think even us as citizens and civilians, if we weren't able to do that.
The City Council approved an update to the Midway Community Plan a year and a half ago, paving the way for up to 10,000 new homes here. And it's starting to bear some fruit. 2 projects are in the works, with hundreds of new apartments either proposed or already under construction. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.